All right, we're going to pull away right now. We've just heard from the Assistant Attorney General, Colin McDonald, on some of the details, and there's so much to unpack, so we're going to pull back on this. Kayleigh, what he just said in the last couple of minutes, I got to fact check on the number. $236 billion in illicit projects that come because we're dealing with countries that will use forced labor, some of them even children. So they're going to try to clean up who we do business with.
Yeah, what this fraud task force is doing is very impressive. Fraud came on everyone's radar in December when Nick Shirley took a video camera and exposed this elaborate scheme in Minnesota. And the Trump administration had a choice. What do we do with this information? They took this on. They created a task force. Immediately, just in California, they shut down more hospice in a short amount of time. It was like 3 times as much as Gavin Newsom had done over his entire tenure. And you look at this is a whole of government approach. It wasn't just this one component of what's happening in Minnesota or in California. Their healthcare initiative had 455 defendants, the National Healthcare Fraud Takedown. And now we look at trade. This is another component of the government, $1 billion in forfeitures, penalties, which was just announced. The largest settlement in False Claims Act history, $38 million in duties was what one individual was stealing because she wasn't paying on smuggled gold jewelry. She was bringing it into the United States. This is very impressive. This is how you triage a problem, and we're seeing it in real time, and we're seeing it, 7 months after this problem even came to light.
You know what's interesting, too, Kayleigh, just to double down on this a little bit, each time that we hear from any of the representatives in these fraud investigations, we learn about victims that we didn't even know were being victimized. Like, for instance, you mentioned Minnesota, but just the autism fraud that's out there, the detail that we learned from the HHS Secretary Kennedy most recently. I mean, this goes so deep, it begs the question, why didn't we know before? This is a lot of money.
And it's human consequences. You mentioned RFK, and that press conference they did about healthcare, they talked about a young boy who was given a false test for his heart that wasn't accurate, and he went out and played his basketball game and lost his life. And here we're talking about fire protection and the consequences of that. There are human consequences to fraud. We focus on the dollar amounts, but this costs lives, and they're looking at that too. It is so much deeper than what we knew.
Lisa, do you think it is overstating it to say that under the Trump administration, with this whole focus on fraud, and let's face it, it started with Doge. I mean, you're looking for dollars just in our own government and duplication, so on and so forth. I think this is a new lane in politics.
Well, I think the lesson here is that our government is just too big and too bloated. If it was more streamlined, more efficient, would we be seeing this level of fraud take place? And I think that was the most important message from Doge. Wasn't just the goal of $2 trillion of savings, it was the efficiency part. And we heard in that interview with Bret Baier, all these individuals who are associated with Doge laying out just how inefficient our government is, that we need to modernize it, we need to streamline it. So I think that's the key here, and that should be our goal as a country. But yes, the Trump administration is certainly bringing this to attention. And look, this is important, particularly in an election year. If you just want to look at the political angle, American families are struggling right now financially. There's inflation. They're having trouble just putting food on the table right now. So I think going after fraud is an easy win for the Trump administration. It's smart. It's good policy. It's a good political win as well. And then I don't even think we've really uncovered the depths of the fraud. We know that GAO in a report has said that we've seen upwards of $500 billion per year in potential fraud. And then there's an additional upwards of $200 billion in just improper payments alone. So I think the objective here should be, one, tackling the fraud, but also how can we work together to eliminate the size and scope of the federal government. I think that in of itself would solve a lot of these problems.
Well, and look, Kennedy, I respect the fact internationally you can't really do anything judicially, but what Lisa's pointing to, we ought to be able to clean some of that up with some tough consequences.
Well, internationally, if you're trying to export things to the United States and you're being fraudulent and you're lying about it, you will be prosecuted, and they will seek restitution, not only for the government but for victims of like the air conditioning units that he was talking about. And we're looking. Dr. Oz was with Nick Shirley uncovering some of the medical device fraud in this country, and there was one apartment with 3 companies operating simultaneously where they were getting between $2 and $8 million a month in Medicaid payments for, devices like respirators and scooters. But there were no patients in there. There were no medical devices in there. But the graft has been ongoing for a long, long time. And now in places like California, where all the politicians say, we've almost solved the homelessness crisis. We need just a little bit more money.
Oh,
just a little bit more of your tax money.
Give me a break.
And people are looking around going, I'm paying more taxes. The problems are getting worse and worse. And now they're seeing why. So voters, they have a choice. They can wake up and do something about it and maybe have a rebellion at the ballot box, or they can just pay more taxes and watch their quality of life plummet.
Look, just on that point for a second. So the industrial complex of homelessness is what I call it.
Yes.
Because so much money, and actually the HUD secretary and I had a deep conversation about this, because there's so much money going into the actual structural housing of these individuals, but people don't want to be in there because you're not fighting the crime that exists inside the walls.
You're not fighting the root cause.
Or the root causes, and that's what the
never
secretary
meant
said.
to. These
right.
industries pop up where cronies of people in power can make money by saying, oh, we're doing good. We're helping people. Building homes isn't helping mentally ill drug addicts.
That's the key. They don't want to solve it.
Yes.
What Kennedy's laying out perfectly.
Jeremy?
Yeah, I mean, even to that point, I think looking at the people aspect of this, it's not just talking about loss of money or loss of resources. There are people that are actually being impacted by this. And one thing that they kind of hinted on even in the press conference was about these Chinese mafias and Korean mafias that are operating here in the United States. They are well organized, well resourced, and they go and bully and harass a lot of young new immigrants from China and from South Korea. They are bullying these people, saying that if you don't agree to our a lot of times forced labor policies, or if you don't agree to what we want to do, we will just continue to harass you and scare you. They'll even say that we know where your family lives back home, and we'll go after them. I mean, and this mafia is literally operating here on American soil. And the idea that there have been so many administrations who have been aware of what's been going on, but have not cracked down on this, and indeed have even done business with some of these fraudsters, I think it is concerning. Like, why did it take so long for finally the United States government to say, look, it's time now to crack down on this? So I totally applaud the Trump administration for taking that action, because as Kayleigh said, they had a choice. They got this new information that came out back in December, and you had a choice. You had a political moment. And you could have let it go by, but they seized the moment, and I think we're seeing the results of that in a positive way.
Well, and I'm always asking the question, how much did open borders under 4 years of Joe Biden really do so much more harm than we can even guess? I mean, if you don't vet people contemporaneously when they gain access to this country, it's hard to figure out what they're doing because you can't even prove who's here. You don't even know who's here. All right, we'll move forward. More Outnumbered in a moment. Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.